Hey everyone, it's Allie, and today we're finally getting started on this Cricut Flower Exploding Box card. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm so sorry it took so long, but I promise you it's going to be worth it. If you haven't seen the preview of it, I do have the link down for you below, but for everyone else, let's just quickly go over all the components we're going to be working with. So on the outside of the box, there's the bow and the gift tag, and when we open it up, I know there's a lot going on here, but really it's just the 4 main cards and the cake. And on the bottom layer of the cake, there's the Make-A-Wish ribbon. And on the top layer of the cake, there's a small flower tag and a small envelope. And then we're going to make the roses and the candle. And on the bottom side of the lid, there's also some balloons. So if you're a beginner, I know this might seem a little overwhelming, but I am going to go over everything step by step. So don't worry, don't be intimidated. You can do it, and I'm going to show you how. I've listed everything that you're going to need down below, but let's quickly go over it. You're going to need the basics, which is the machine, of course, either the Cricut Explorer or the Maker. You're going to need a mat, a fine point blade, and you are going to need Cricut Access as well. We're going to be doing a lot of folding, so you're going to need a scoring tool. You can use either the scoring wheel or the scoring stylus if you have an Explorer. And we're going to use a quilling tool to make the roses, but if you don't have one, you can also use some reverse tweezers, which when you pinch them together, they open up. And I use a Cricut pen just to write the to from on the front gift tag, but if you don't have it, then you can just handwrite it in with a regular pen. Of course, we're going to need some paper, so I used a medium thickness on the plain cardstock, and then I use a light thickness on the pattern paper and the glitter paper. And it's really important to use only light cardstock on the pattern paper and the glitter paper because we're going to use that to make our bow, and it doesn't work very well with heavy cardstock. For the bow, we're also going to need a brad, and the one I used was 8 by 15 millimeters. I just got this on Amazon. You don't want to use too short of a brad because you have to pierce through multiple layers of paper, and if the brad is too short, it makes it really hard. We're going to need some ribbon. I used 1/4 of an inch, and I used about 6 feet, but it's a good idea to have a little extra just in case. And I used a Velcro dot. This was just to clasp the tiny envelope together. We're going to need some glitter, a hot glue gun, and of course some adhesive. And I used a little tissue paper just to put inside the cake. And we're going to need a little bit of string. So that's everything. Let's go ahead and take a look at the project. When you open up the project in Design Space, it's going to look like this. And it's a really big project, so just give it a minute to load up. But here we have the pieces for the main box of the card. This is going to be for the lid. All these pieces right here are for the cake. These are for the flowers. This is for the waterfall card. This is for the blooming flower. All of these here are going to be for the never-ending card. And this is for the birthday pop-up card. And these are going to be for the bow. And I use this color here for the glitter paper. And I use this color here for the pattern paper. And there's a lot of pieces, so I'm going to let you cut out everything on your own, and then I will show you how to put everything together. We are going to start with the waterfall card, and that's this card right here. And I just love this card because it slides in and out, and it looks so neat. And it's actually a lot easier than it looks. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's everything that we're going to need for the waterfall card. You have the larger pink piece, which is the main piece for the card. The smaller pink piece, which is just for reinforcement. you should have 4 of the flaps that we're going to glue onto the card, and then 3 small fuchsia flowers and 3 small purple flowers. The first thing we're going to do is glue the purple flowers onto the fuchsia flowers. It's the easiest thing, so we'll just get it out of the way. And to save a little time, I've already put glue on the back of the purple flowers, so I am just going to stick them on just like that. And we'll do that for all 3 of them. Okay, and then we will set the flowers aside and we'll go ahead and start the rest of the card. If you look at the larger pink piece, you're going to notice that it has 4 scored lines, so we're just going to fold along each of those lines. When you finish folding it, it should look like this. And now what we're going to do is glue the smaller pink piece onto the back of here. And the only reason why I did that was because when I made it initially, I had trouble with the sliding mechanism because it was a little bit flimsy, so I decided to add an extra layer to help reinforce it. Now we can glue the flaps on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive on the entire front side of the card here. And then I'm going to glue each one of these flaps on layer by layer. So the first one's going to be the purple flap with the tabs on the side. And that's going to sit flush with the bottom edge of the card. And my next piece is the pink piece. And the top edge of the pink flap is going to align with the next scored line that you see on there. And then the next one's going to be the purple one, and it's going to line up with the next scored line. And then the last pink flap is going to align with the top edge. So when you're all done gluing, it's going to look like that. To wrap things up, we'll glue the flowers on, and what I like to do is hold this part down so I know where to put the flowers, and we'll put the middle one on first and then the 2 side ones on. And you want to position the flower as close to the scallop purple edge as possible without any overlap. And for this part, I like to use the hot glue gun. And of course, you can see that only half of the flower is on the card and the other half is hanging off, so you only want to put glue on half of the flower. This is what the finished card should look like, and it doesn't look like much right now, but once we glue it to the main card, it's going to do something like this. So let's just set that aside for now and we will move on. So now we're going to make the blooming flower card, which is this card here. And so you're just going to need to grab the large flower piece, the hexagon piece, and then you should have 6 of the flower petals. And it's important to note that they are not the same on both sides. So if you have paper that's the same color on both sides, then you want to make sure to keep track of what side's the front side and what side's the back side, because if you glue the wrong side, then it's not going to fit on your flower properly. So we are going to start folding our flower now, and the first thing we're going to do is fold a line between every other petal. So if you start here, then you're going to skip the top one and fold over to here. And it's just going to be a straight line all the way across. And you're going to rotate your flower and do this all the way around. So when you're done, you're going to have 6 lines and you're going to have a hexagon shape in the middle. So let's go ahead and do that now. So here we have our partially folded flower, and now we're going to fold on each of our flower petals. And there should be a scored line between here and here. And again, we're just going to do this 6 times all the way around our flower on each of the petals. And the easiest way I found to do that is to grab the flower on each side of the petal and kind of bring them towards each other, just like that. And then you can grab and fold it from the back. Alright, so now that we have our flower folded up, we can go ahead and glue on our petals. And to get the flower in the closed position, we're just going to bring all of the petals towards the center, and then you want to push the petals towards the counterclockwise direction, just like that. Let me do that again. Push it towards the center and fold down. And it is going to keep popping up a little bit, so you can just put it under some books or something heavy and leave it there for a day, and then it'll flatten out. So let's go ahead and glue on our petals. And again, it's important to note what side's the front side and what side's the back side, because they're not the same. But if you've lost track of what side's the front side and what side's the back side, it's okay. You can just place the petal on and see if it fits. So you can see that doesn't fit. So I'll just flip it around and put it on that way. And so we're just going to do that with all 6 of the petals. So just a quick note, I pre-stickered everything to save a little time. It's a method I like to use when I'm doing things in bulk or if there's a lot of gluing to be done. It saves a ton of time, so if you guys are interested, let me know and I can throw up a quick video about it. But let's go ahead and glue on our hexagon piece and then we'll be done with this part of the card. So next we're going to make this happy birthday pop-up card. So let's go ahead and grab all the pieces that we need for that. You're going to need the 3 main pieces for the card. There's the 2 pink side pieces, the very odd shaped purple piece for the candles, the rectangle yellow piece that is for the flames, and then you should have 6 each of the purple flowers and 6 each of the fuchsia flowers. So this part is pretty simple. We're just going to glue the 2 pink pieces on the side, and then we're going to glue our flowers on. And if you look at the purple piece, you should have 2 scored lines right about there. So you're just going to fold along those lines, and then we'll glue our pink pieces on. So let's go ahead and do that. So earlier I did mention that we were going to glue the pink pieces on the sides, but you actually want to put the glue on the purple piece, obviously because of the lace. So you're going to put glue on both side panels here, and then just place your pink piece on top. And I've already done it, and I just use Glue Dot Runner. So now I can just place it on, and you just want to line it up as best you can. By the way, they're mirror images, so if it doesn't quite fit right, then try to put it on the other side and then flip it upside down. And I'll just take my second piece and glue it like that. So now it looks like that. I made this card from a larger image, and when I cropped the image, I ended up with some extra little pieces on these four corners here. So I'm just gonna snip those off with some scissors. If it doesn't bother you, then you can just leave them on, but I like to cut them off. And I would have just done it in Design Space, but sometimes it's hard to crop curved pieces with that program, and so I just found it easier just to use scissors. You know, sometimes it's just easier to do things the old-fashioned way rather than using technology, especially if you're like me, because I'm not very tech savvy. My husband is, sort of, so I make him do everything. All right, that looks good to me. So now we're just going to glue on the purple flowers onto the pink flowers. So we're almost done here. All we're gonna do is open it up, and we're gonna glue the flowers on both sides. And I like to glue the middle flower on first and then the two side ones on. It just makes it a little bit easier to center all the flowers. So we are finished with the back piece of this card. So we'll go ahead and close it up, and we're gonna set it aside, and we're gonna work on the birthday pop-up, and then after that we'll just put it all together. So let's look at the birthday card one more time so we know where to fold. And there's basically 5 main lines. There's going to be the line underneath the candles, and then the top and bottom of the happy, and then the top and bottom of the birthday. And then there's 2 smaller lines that run between the happy and the birthday. So let's go ahead and fold our card. So here's the birthday card, and we're gonna fold on the scored lines. And the easiest way I found to do it is to kind of put your finger underneath and use your other finger to push forward. So here's the folded card, and now we'll just put the candles and the flames on. So I'm going to start with the purple piece. I've already put a little bit of glue dot runner on the back, and so we'll just put the purple piece on for the candles. And you just want to fit it on there so that it shows through where it's supposed to and not anywhere else. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and put our candles on. This way. There we go. And then we can just take our pink piece and fold along the scored line in half. And then we can just place the other folded card right on top of the pink and glue it together. So here we have our 2 pieces for the card, and so we're just going to finish it up by gluing this guy right onto here. And of course you only want to glue the bottom side, you don't want to glue the back side here. And again, I've already done that. And we're going to place it right on there. And it's a pretty snug fit, so it's best if you can line it up right along the edge so that it fits when you close it on both sides, just like that. And that's it. So now we're finished with this, and we will just put that away and move on to our next card. So now we're going to make the never-ending card, and that's this card right here. So I've taken all of the pieces that we're going to need, and I've arranged them from largest to smallest. You should have 7 pieces total of the scalloped rectangles. You should have 3 of the lighter pink ones and 4 of the purple ones. And then you should have a lacy flower piece and a small fuchsia flower. And by the way, you should also have a small light pink piece that looks like it belongs on this card, but it actually goes to the mini envelope. So just set that aside and we'll use it later. And this card is actually really simple. All we're going to do is fold the rectangles in half along the scored line, and then we're going to glue it from largest to smallest. Now that we have all the pieces folded, we can start gluing them together. And I'm going to start with the largest purple piece. And if you think of it like a book, when you open it, you're going to glue the first piece on the right side of the page. And that's going to be the largest pink piece right here. And I've already put the glue on again. And orientation is really important here. So what you want to do is glue the one side of the pink, and you want it to fold downward. So we're going to place it right here in the middle. Just like that. And we're going to do the same thing with the next one. But this one is going to open to the left. And the next piece is going to open towards the top. And then the next piece is going to open towards the right. So it's just gonna keep circling around. Just like that. Under the last folded piece is gonna open downward. And here we can just glue the small squarish purple piece right on there. And then we'll glue the fuchsia flower onto that. that's it. So here's the finished card, and it opens up like this. And you kind of have to hold it, otherwise it pops open, so just like that. And now we can just glue our last lacy flower piece on what I consider the back of the book. And it's up to you what orientation you want the lacy flower piece to go. There's not really one way to do it, but I like it so that the largest flower piece is on the bottom and the leaves are going upward. So I'm just going to place that right on there. And that's it for this part, and we will move on to the next card. Actually, we'll go ahead and stop there for now since the video is getting pretty long, but we'll take a break and I'll be back next time to show you how to make the rest of it. That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.